right, so for this week, the customer question of the week is, will an outside outsourced lead gen service work for my company? I think a lot of services firms are struggling with pipeline right now. It's a little harder to get new clients. Referrals aren't coming as easy. Website traffic and, contact forms aren't coming in as substantially. So that's the question I want to talk about. It is a tough year, and almost every firm that I talk to is looking to develop pipeline. So how can you make the decision about whether a lead gen service would work for you? I think there's a couple of characteristics that would indicate that you might be more or less successful. One would be, what are the services of your firm, and are you solving a problem, or are you, selling a vision of what the world might look like with your solution? So the first is a problem-solving sales cycles. There's basically two types of sales cycles. The customer has a problem, they know what the problem is, and they reach out to the market and try to find potential solutions to the problem. If your space is well-defined, right? So, for me, like, fractional HR consultants, or, HR consulting around compensation, like that, those types of things are defined space, and you're solving a very specific problem. In those particular cases, it may work for you. If you are selling a future state, something that's not, a defined space or people can recognize with, then it would be very difficult to get a lead gen service company in and be successful. The second consideration is, how emerging is your space? There's lots of, new markets that get developed. You might have a new solution for something based on client work, right? So it is very difficult when you're in an emerging space to hire a lead gen service, because it's very difficult to get the message right. So only you can get the messaging right, and it's probably through trials and tribulations. So if your space is very new, it's probably not a great use of your funds or your investment. And the third consideration is, how well defined is your niche, right? So when I think about niche, I think about what problems are you solving for the client, who's your ideal customer profile, who is your core client, is that well defined? Do you have a very specific set of expertise that fits into a niche? If that's well defined, then you may have some success with a lead gen firm. If it's not, then it's probably not worth moving forward with. Overall, my experience is that the vast majority of lead gen services don't work, right? They're unable to get to a compelling message. And for me, the compelling message is you're trying to get in front of clients with meetings or appointments, and the value proposition for the meeting or the insight that you're bringing forward is not sufficient, right? Largely because the outsourced firm doesn't know your business as well as you do, and is unable to comprehend your business and then translate that into a value offer that would create compelling meetings. So what can you do about it, right? A couple things. One is look at training your staff on some basic prospecting. Have them reach out and try to generate some referrals. Have them try to reach out to some clients cold. This starts to create the sales muscle. I cut a video earlier this week about sales culture. This also helps create culture in your organization around selling. So make that investment in training and trying to get your own staff, at various levels to try to create, some meetings and some activity on their own. The second thing is I would experiment a lot. A well-defined prospecting system can take months, like 6 months to build through various trials and tribulations. So go through that journey. Nobody knows your business like you do. Try 5 or different messaging types, try different verticals, try different approaches until you find one that works. When you find one that works, then it might be time to engage with a outsourced firm to scale it. The final area that I would focus on is thought leadership. Rather than trying to, an outbound outreach, why not invest that time, money, and energy in creating more content that's compelling, that can create community around your market, that will attract buyers. So, videos, blogs, white papers, books, all those kinds of things with really good campaigns might be a better long-term investment. Those are a couple things you can do. At the end of the day, it's, nobody knows your offerings, your business better than you do. So I would focus on trying to have some success internally before you go outside. The other thing I would say is there's nothing that's more of a profit drag on your firm than hiring resources, either whether they're outsourced or not, in sales and marketing before you're ready. If you put a sales team in place too soon, or you put too big of a sales team in place too soon, or if you hired an outsourced firm before you're ready, all of that will, pretty significantly hit your bottom line. Most services organizations that we see are trying to calibrate their investment in sales and, in the 5 to 10% of revenue. So, keep that in mind when you're making investments like this.